Hey you all, first you have to do is decide on what type of volume developer you want to use. Get the hair ready. Any type of hair will work good for this look, as long as it's not dyed. Mixing bowl with a brush, B2W, aluminum foil, and that's about it. Not a lot of items that you need to get this color. First thing you have to do is mix the B2W in the mixing bowl. And I'll always start with the powder first, then add the developer. It's just a lot easier for me. And those are the different types of developer. But again, I decided to go with 40. The higher the developer, the lighter the hair is. If you only want to go one shade or two shades or two levels, you can go with a 20, but I wanted to go very light, so I chose the 40 volume. Some people start with a little bit liquid and then add gradually, but it's up to you. I made a mistake and I bought the B2W that is the original formula, and it tends to get kind of dusty and things like that. I really don't like using it. I prefer Paul Mitchell's lightener, because it doesn't get it all dusty and doesn't get everywhere. But again, this is what I had to use. Very easy steps. And make sure it is a creamy consistency, kind of like ice cream. It shouldn't be thick like pudding, but it should be more of an ice cream consistency or milkshake consistency. A milkshake that's been out for a while, you could say it like that. And make sure you get all the bubbles. That's another thing. Make sure it's smooth. Get all those bubbles out of the hair. And just pour it on there. For this look, I don't want it to be one solid color. I want my blonde to have some dimension to it. So instead of doing one bundle at a time, I'm doing all the bundles at one time. To me, it just makes it look better like that. Because what this does is, when I first put it on there, it takes time to get all the color on the hair. So some parts will be lighter and some parts will be darker. If that makes sense to you. If you do all of it at one time, sometimes it all comes out the same color. But doing it like this, sometimes I'll have some shades that are a little bit darker and some shades that are a little bit lighter. And that's the look I'm going for with this. Make sure you turn it over. And again, if you want it all one solid blonde color, I will do one bundle at a time. I wouldn't add them all together like this. And just keep on brushing everything in there. Sometimes you'll run out of developer or powder, so you can always make another batch. Just mix it all the way through. Sometimes I like to start with the ends like I did right here. And then when I separate it, you can tell that. Just mix it up. And to make it even more dimensional, you can start with a 40 and then as you go on, mix the B2W with a 30 volume this time instead of mixing it with the 40 volume. That gives the hair more dimension because it's two different developers. The 40 volume will give it a blonde color, and the 30 volume will give it more of a honey blonde color. So you see, I went with the ends, and then I'm doing the same routine over again. First, get your powder. I'm using 3 scoops. What I say, every bundle you need at least 2 to 3 scoops. So the more bundles you use, the more scoops you use. This is 30 volume this time. So the first time I use a 40 volume, since the second time I use a 30 volume. That's why when you look at the hair, some parts are a little bit lighter than others. Mix it all in there. And again, make sure you take all the bubbles out. The reason I'm not skipping this part is because a lot of people fail to mix it all the way through. They just do it halfway, and by the time you know it, the bottom of your bowl has a whole bunch of powder instead of it all being mixed in. If you're a beginner, I will recommend measuring everything out, but since I've been doing it for a long time, I know better. As you can see, the bottom is already getting processed, so that will be definitely be lighter than the top part. Yeah, mix it all the way through. And 40 volume is very strong. Some people are against it, but since I've been doing it for a long time and I'm used to coloring hair, I know what to do with it. If you're a beginner, work fast. I can't say it a lot of times, but work fast, work fast, work fast, work fast. It's very important to work fast because with 40 volume, it lightens so quickly. Make sure you get your roots because you don't want to have blonde hair and dark roots unless that's the look you're looking for. But if that's not the look you're looking for, then try to work fast and don't skip your roots. If you wanted to go blonde and you wanted your roots to be lightened but not as light as your the rest of your hair, then you can do the bottom, then go ahead and do the roots 10 minutes before it's about to process, and that will give you more of a number 4. This here was a natural 1B, so if you're working with a number 1, sometimes it's harder to get to this color, but it'll give you a great color nonetheless. Make sure this hair isn't dyed. If your hair was ever dyed jet black, it will not turn out like this. I'm going for more of a red undertone. If you're going more for a yellow undertone, you can always use a cloudy color, and that will get some of the brassiness out, and it give you a blonde blonde compared to giving you more of a reddish blonde. And always go back and check on the hair and see if it's the color you want. That's how you can control it. If you don't have the option of having 10 volume or 20 volume, all you have is 30 and you don't want to get this light, you could always use the same steps. Only thing you have to think about is don't leave it on as long. Be very careful, keep an eye on it. Some people use a hooded dryer and take the foil and put it on there, but I don't do that. I think it dries the hair out. Another technique that you could always use to keep the hair soft is boiling a half cup of hot water or a quarter cup of hot water and pouring a little bit into the mixture with conditioner, and it leaves the hair very soft. But I don't recommend it if you're not used to coloring hair. It won't be a good idea. That's only if you're used to coloring hair and you will know what to look for. What you do, just take it like that, fold it, spread it out nicely, and you could always let it sit for 30 to 45 minutes, depending how light you want it, and ta-da, you're done. Very easy step. This is the outcome of the hair. Very pretty blonde color, and as you can see how some parts are lighter than the others, that's what using 2 different types of developer does. You get different tones to the hair. It's not all one color. And you can always use this step when you're trying to get red hair, and you can always put a door color or a door rinse on top of it, and it will give you a nice red color with a lot of dimension. You won't have a just one split color. And again, you could always use this step with any kind of hair as long as it's not dyed black, and as long as it's virgin. Even some synthetic hair lightens, so the wefts are very nice. And this is hair that we sell at the salon. You could always call and then take a look at the hair. These are some pictures.